What's up, y'all? It's the Authentic Empress, bro. So, I'm just sitting here, you know, just, I guess you can say meditating, just living, and meditating. And going off the caption, something that I'm going to discuss is just how much deception, especially pathological, with, no true accountability, no true evidence or effort of change, turnover, trying to uh, authentically repair the situation or repair the damages that was caused by the deception. Um, how it's just a deal breaker for me. It's just a deal breaker. Um, we're in the pre-shadow phase of Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde isn't until the 29th, so right at the end of December. But yeah, like I'm hmm, just reflecting, you know, and I was kind of recapping, reminiscing on just where I come from in this particular lifetime, where my beginnings were in this lifetime. Because, of course, this lifetime is not where I come from. This lifetime is not my beginning. Um, it's like a continuation of sorts, another journey. And, as far as my earthly vessel, my beginnings, like the place where I was raised or where I grew up, because even with that, like earlier I was thinking today, you know how people usually say like your hometown, but it's not my hometown. Like it's not home to me. It's never felt like home to me. It was just somewhere where I grew up, it's somewhere where I was from, but it didn't feel like home. It was more so just borrowed terminology, societal terminology of how we associate and address certain things and constructs, right? But it didn't really feel like home. So, yeah, like a home to my soul, like my soul's home. And when do I feel the most like I'm at home? I feel the most at home when I'm in a place of serenity, peace, an energy of refuge, retreat, when I'm in nature, like beautiful, aspects of nature, or when I'm just like capturing, nature in my mind's eye. Like I can be sitting here meditating and just watching like ducks or watching birds or animals or just even if it's just a cat roaming about. But these are the moments where I feel most at home. Like I feel at home, sitting outside watching a butterfly just fly around. Um, looking at scenery and or just watching, the the wonders and like the virtues of the spirit play out in different people, places, things, scenarios, right? This is when I feel like I'm at home. But anyway, before I go into that, I want to go back where I started from. So, deception is a deal breaker for me. And that's just that. There's a reason why, you know, in my journey and with the name that I've made for myself and the name given me by the Most High, the Authentic Empress, authenticity. Why it's been so big for me, and although a lot more people are talking about authenticity nowadays, especially this year, 2022. This has kind of been my thing for like past few years, and honestly, before I called myself the Authentic Empress or really started talking about authenticity in the essence of the word, this has been my thing like for decades, damn near, like, or since, merely most of my existence, besides, of course, like your childhood, when you're just kind of in that state of wonder and observation and just, just kind of in the shadows of other people's worlds, right? But once I reached a place of like autonomy, which for me, I kind of came to that very soon. Um, Honesty and authenticity was a big thing for me. Um, Loyalty, all of that. Um, so yeah, deception is a deal breaker. Like I said, I was reflecting and recapping back over um the place where I was raised, people that I knew from my past, from my grade school years, and or people who were my friends, or people that I went to church with, grew up in church with, and just kind of just reflecting. And it's like the then and the now type of thing, like seeing where I am, how far I've come, where I was then, seeing where certain people are now within themselves, where we were then, and I just, I am very grateful to be who I am. Just like that post that I made today on my community board, that was just kind of a part of the reflecting, the introspection that I was doing. That, I'm just truly grateful for every detail of my life, and just the way that the Most High has made me, I'm truly grateful for that. There's no one else I would rather be. There's no other life I would rather live but my own in each lifetime. Regardless of whatever severity of events, circumstances or tests and challenges that I have to overcome, pass and conquer. Nonetheless, I'm still grateful because that just speaks all the more to who I really am in essence, like who I really am according to like my soul DNA, and my spiritual genetics, and being God's daughter, and our divine mother's daughter, and just feeling so connected to them more than ever. And even now talking about it, that reestablishing of that deep connection, oneness, and unity with them in this lifetime, that I know that this was something that had to be rediscovered in each lifetime, um and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. But anyway, because I feel like I keep going away from why I decided to do this video, this caption. So the person whom I've known to be the person who was given that position in my life to be considered my dad. I just was sitting here reflecting on how his lies, kind of ruin certain things, certain aspects, for me, and unfortunately, possibly for others, who probably miss me, who probably want me to come back or want me to return to this place. And this we return, I do believe that there's just certain things that must be completed or must come to a completion first before I return. Um, because like I said, like this person's pathological deception and just totally denying, fessing up, being truthful, being honest, being accountable, trying to truly repair the situation, opposed to doing everything in his freaking power to cover it up, keep it masked, uphold his reputation and false image, opposed to just doing what is noble, doing what is honorable, doing what is just, right? What is fair, what is balanced, what is righteous. And as a result, manipulating other people, causing, dysfunction, disorder, discord, imbalances, confusion, and, other people or like parties that are involved just to maintain a lie, even as far as turning these people against me or trying to turn as many people against me as possible, right? And literally, this is something that he has started since I was a child, unbeknownst to me, even though, like I said, because of my gifts and stuff like that, and it's still like in God's timing, I picked up on these things pretty quickly. Even if I didn't, if I didn't really have the full conviction back then, I still picked up on the deception of his energy and this whole narrative that he was trying to spun, not only of me but of my mother and my brother. And I know for a lot of people this, it sounds crazy, it sounds bogus because of how society and how this world teaches us, but it's very it's very hypocritical, when people try to act like they're so holy and they're so biblically aligned and this, that, and the third. But even biblically, it speaks about parents being against the children, and siblings being against siblings, in-laws being against whatever. Like, it talks about all this, right? And but people, they be so quick to try to throw certain bits and pieces that they pick out to justify their argument in your face, and they don't really know what they're talking about. They don't really understand, or they don't cover all of it. Like I said, they just pick bits and pieces to justify their incomplete logic or ration or intuition about things. And I guess, lack of better words, their absence of intuition and discernment. And I just, I was just sitting here thinking, even though I love some people, there are some people I miss, some people I love. Um, there's still this energy, this like Piscean energy that's kind of like drifting around these people's, crowns, third eyes, and especially their hearts, right? Their energetic field, where there's still like this veil of illusion or misconceptions, especially concerning me. And personally, I don't feel like I deserve that or that I have to be around that. I don't feel like it's fair for me to spend any more time, around that energy when I spent all my life, like most of my life, around that, and it just, why would I, put myself back in captivity? Because that's what it feels like. Why would I go back into captivity when, I'm able to create, I'm able to be free, I'm able to be my true confident, or, I was already being, my true self, but I'm able to just bask in that and just be free, and not experience any writer's block, creator's block, things of this nature, or any blockages in my spiritual connection with the Most High, or my spirit family, or my ability to be sociable with others, and all of this stuff, right? Like, just, you know, free from stress, in a large degree. And I have definitely been through like some challenges or some episodes that I never saw coming. I never thought I would have to experience as a result of people trying to uphold their lies in deception. And that's what I mean. If me walking away or freeing myself from, the various too, but the very obvious captivity, you know, that was very clear to me because I was in captivity. It doesn't matter what everybody else believe or what they think or what they perceive or whatever that they try to, whatever illustration or narrative that they try to create, or them being in denial or not believing something to be true. At the end of the day, it's my life. So it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter if you think this, if you think that, if you're buying into other people's stories. And that's my thing too. People would quote unquote believe these people's stories, but when it comes to the person who is the center of it, they're so quick to deny that person's truth, deny that person's, perspective, that their side of the story. And that's another thing, that why would I return to that? And I've experienced it through people in church, or church members. I experienced it through quote unquote family, quote unquote friends, ex-friends, people that I was, involved with, on a relation or on a romantic level. Why would I return to that? And then there's this logic of, oh, if we keep denying them, da 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 da, and disempower her by, denying her truth or denying her authority, her power, her stance, whatever, that this is going to make her succumb, this is going to make her submit, and not even realizing that this is making me like want to free myself even more and remain free. This is making me, it's pushing me away, and just, I don't know, like it's creating the opposite outcome and effect that their intentions were set out to create, basically. And some of these people will say all day long they don't care, and that's fine. You don't have to care. Here's the thing, though: when you know that you truly do care, and you put it on a persona and a facade, and then the person, like for instance, me, like, I'm typically, known as the person who cares, who got big love, big care, big compassion, big forgiveness, big remedies, big healing whatever the infraction is, or healing the scars, and this, that, and the third, right? That's what is expected of me, right? To repair the situation, to mend the situation, to be the mediator. But when you keep coming at me with, or you're trying to put on this facade that you don't care about who I am authentically, you don't care about my true self, my true soul, what matters to me, what makes me happy, my peace, when you keep putting on this persona, and that's my thing, like, some of these people, they do everything in their power to convince you that they don't care, right? Even though deep down they do. And here's my thing, like, I, having a higher perspective of the situation, I can understand that, deep down, I know you care, but, this is what you do, to, I guess, hide your vulnerabilities or not come off as weak, or because of your ego, your pride, your arrogance, whatever, right? I can have the higher perspective and realize, okay, deep down, you really do care, but you want me to believe so much that you don't care because you feel intimidated by, my ability to really stand my ground. What happens when I treat you as if, okay, well, maybe you don't care. And if you don't care, there's no use for you. There's no need for me to allow you any further access into my life. There's no need for me to share anything that really, sets my heart, on fire, or anything, that I'm truly passionate about, things that I get excited about. There's no need for me to share or discuss these things with you any longer, any further, because you've proven, or you gone out of your way to show that you don't care, right? Right. And then what happens in a lot of situations? They actually do care, or they get offended by that as well. It's like, either way, either stance that you take, they're offended by it, or they feel like you're disrespecting them, you're disregarding them, it's some type of competition or whatever. And it's like, you said you didn't care. Or you would deflect, you would dismiss, you would project, you would lie, you would create narratives, you would try to flip the script. There's so many different tactics that people, choose, or so many ways of escapism that people entertain to prove that they don't care. In a terrible attempt to try to gain control over a situation that they have no control over. And that's my thing. It's like, yeah, when a person submit to you, and they worship you, as they treat you as some type of idol, or a god above God. You feel me? Yes, those tactics may work on those individuals, but you can't expect that to work on a person whom in their life, by choice, they choose for God to be in control of their life. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to bow down to you because you have been trusted with confidential information, right? About the human nature, or about those who are pure in heart, right? Those who are really caring and loving of others. you have been trusted with that, with the confidential information of, what hurts a person, what triggers a person, what gets under a person's skin, um what scares or frightens a person, um all of these things, right? And but then you take that information and you use that as weapons. You choose to weaponize the energy against somebody who is truly genuine in your life, who's truly pure to you. And then, you know, you act surprised when a person begins to resist you. Um, but like I said, in an effort to gain control over the situation, or some, compete power tripping, or to feel like they have more authority, or they're more superior or more stronger, right? Um, they weaponize emotions and they weaponize information, right? And confidential, things against the person in hopes that they would basically denounce the Most High and make them their God or their goddess, and it's like, I'm not doing that, because at the end of the day, there's so many aspects, so many moments. Really, all of my life, the only person who's been the most loyal to me is the Most High. So I would literally be a fool or idiotic to allow myself or allow anybody else to replace God. I just can't do that. Because at the end of the day, you got these people, these same people, they love you, or the things that they love about you the most, whether they admit it or not. The things that they love about you the most beautiful moments and experiences and wisdom and information, education that they've gained from you, have all been because of your connection with the Most High. But see, in a lot of cases, people get confused, and they confuse that. And, especially for people who struggle with their faith or their relationship with God, right? They account a lot of their abilities and what they're able to do on themselves alone. They don't never associate that with, oh, I am a spirit. I do have a spirit inside this body. And at the end of the day, who is the mother and father of the spirit? Not just who's the mother and father of my body, my vessel, who I'm accrediting all, these actions and activities and, whatever that I'm able to make, that I have taken. At the end of the day, who is the mother, father, family of my spirit? My soul that is within this body. Because at the end of the day, they did not give birth. These human people did not give birth to my soul. They gave birth to my body, right? So a lot of people, they accredit a lot of things to their body and not to their soul, their spirit, thus not to whatever spirit, that they are birthed from, which hopefully is the Most High. But some people are demonic as well. Some people are demonic and satanic. So yeah, and even with that, right, we have to remember, like, even if we think about, the story of Satan and Lucifer, right? And how he was once an angel in heaven and how he was casted out. At the end of the day, who does his spirit come from? And what's the biggest thing that he did, that a big mistake that a lot of people make? He denied God. He denied God. He denounced God. And he wanted to be God. He wanted to replace God. So a lot of people are doing that. They find themselves in that position, and they wonder why, there's an existence of so much conflict, discord, of so much imbalance and dysfunction. And that's why, because they sit here either worshiping somebody else or idolizing other things that are not the Most High, putting idols above the Most High, whether that be, money, whether that be whatever status they want to achieve. It doesn't matter, whatever image or reputation or how they want to be seen by others, the materials that they wish to have, their body, like I said, like, it's whatever. Like, people make the same mistake over and over and over again. We have countless, I mean, damn near endless examples, like, before us, around us, everywhere we look, of that same mistake, right? The various outcomes and circumstances that it leads to, right? And literally just like what not to do. So that's why I always like to say, everybody is a school of information. Every person is a school of information. The most important school in your life will be Earth School, your own life, and those around you, not these universities, not any of these earths, like these actual like human made schools. No. But literally just existing, being present, in your life in the moment, like paying attention to all things, everything that you watch, like just there's something to learn from everything, right? And the spirit realm is always communicating, like it's just as active and tangible as the material realm. But so many people are used to seeing with are used to existing with just through their body, right? And being conscious of that, being conscious of existing through their body opposed to being conscious of existing through their spirit, bro. And as a result, it's like they're so fixated on what their physical eyes, what their human eyes can see, that when it comes to their spiritual eyes, they're blind. They're either blind or there's some type of fracture or blurriness to their vision, like there's some type of veils there. And this is why it's just so much confusion. So many illusions are allowed to be carried on and carried out. um and like I said, I'm just not. I've given a lot of myself to people. You know, I have. I've given a lot of myself to trying to get people to understand me, and not just me, but understand how things work, according to the spirit, understanding the perspective of the spirit. So even like bigger than myself, understanding the perspective of the spirit man, or just the spirit world, the spirit realm, the most high. And even though I'm living out who I truly am spiritually, like I'm living out of my soul, allowing my soul to express itself through my body. Um, there's so many people. I don't want to say that there's significant people who downplay that or had a tendency to deflect that, or deflect from that whenever they would communicate with me, or when I'm attempting to express myself with them. And it's very disrespectful. And in most cases it was intended to be disrespectful. In most cases it was intended to be dismissive. It was intended to cause belittlement, or the feelings of belittlement, feelings of abandonment, feelings of carelessness, this, that, and the third. Because it's like, I don't know why I'm hearing this, but you know how it says God is a jealous God, right? What I'm hearing is, when you put things or whatever above the Most High, this, and this is the nature of what He could become jealous of, right? Um, People don't even realize that they can even make their own parents, right? Or people. We know people can be idols, but a lot of times we think about celebrities and stuff like that. But celebrities are just, they're people like anybody else. They're part of the collective. So they have children, they have families, yada yada yada. So a celebrity can be anybody that you really idolize and you put above, like, other people, places, or things, right? Where there's some nature of worship involved, right? So some people worship, a parent or their parents. And now it's just that there needs to be an understanding of that, right? There definitely needs to be a deeper understanding of this, um, because that's a barrier for a lot of people to. That's a tough barrier for a lot of people to break through or break away from. Even when it comes down to pastors, customs, and certain things like that. Like anybody, any person that is not God, right? We have people who really get caught up in that, where they start to think that these people are the God. And even though they'll say all day long, oh no, it's Jesus, or we praising God the Most High, whatever. At the end of the day, a lot of these people, they treat their pastors in certain ministers and people that they know that they idolize because of what they have, their status, the way that their family looks perfect, or the things that they've acquired. They treat these people like these people are their gods. They won't say that. They'll tell you all day long, you don't know what you're talking about. But at the end of the day, it's like, pay attention. Pay attention. So yeah. But going back to that jealousy thing, are people not realizing that they're trying to replace God in somebody else's life? You know how some parents get above themselves with that, oh, you will obey me, you will obey me. And there's even some people, whether they realize it or not, they go as far as, you're going to obey me as your parent or as your lover, or that you're going to obey me over God. So God can have you on your own path or be guiding you to do this and do that, yada, yada, yada. And these people will treat you like you are disrespecting them. You're doing a disservice to them by obeying God, by obeying your path, right? And where you're led. And, unfortunately, there are some people who will literally go as far as harming you, creating circumstances or situations from you to make you respect their authority, or try to get you to succumb or submit to their authority, to obeying them by any means available to them. So I'm just putting that out there. Some people, there's a such thing as even your parents, right? Pastors, people in the church, family, friends, lovers, strangers, business. There's a such thing as these people becoming jealous of your obedience to the Most High. That's real. That is very real. So yeah, that's just a thought. I'm just sitting here thinking, like, why would I truly return? Why will I return to a place where I know there's people intentionally trying to persecute me, put me in captivity, treat me like a slave or like their slave, dishonor me, disempower me, abuse me, whether subtly or, blatantly, abruptly. Why? Why would I return to places or people where my life has literally been endangered? My soul has been endangered around these individuals, places, or things. Why would I do that to myself? How is that wise? So yeah. Deception is a deal breaker for me. I'm not saying that I have never, ever in this lifetime told a lie. But deception is a deal breaker. That's why I said deception, especially pathological, with no accountability or evidence of truly trying to repair the situation. See, I say that very specifically and intentionally, because I feel like at some point everybody tells a lie. Some people realize they don't want to be that person. Some people conscious are still very much so intact, and they correct or try or make an effort to repair the situation, to repair themselves, to be honest, right? But you have others who become comfortable in that, who develop a high or a surge of dopamine from doing so, who develop a sense of power, false power, and security and authority from doing so. So it becomes pathological. They become prideful, right? The instant gratification, right? That dopamine surge, that addiction, it becomes an addiction for people. Like many other addictions that exist, it's like you can literally put that in a category of addictive behaviors. Lying, being deceptive. And when somebody shows evidence that they struggle with addiction, especially when it comes to being deceptive, I just don't deem that person being trustworthy of, my energy, my body, my soul, my life. And that may be heartbreaking for some people. Shit, it would be heartbreaking to us because deep down, we do love these people. Some of these people, we truly care. And we want things to be better. We've made effort to make things better and more fair and just for both parties, not just for them, but for us as well. So you have people who want to forfeit, you know, things being fair and just for you, right? Or you deserving for them to be fair, honest, and just and right to you and towards you and their handling of you, right? They want you to forfeit that, but give them all the honesty, integrity, loyalty, faithfulness, honor, nobility, all of they want all that from you, right? But they're not willing to give that. They're not even willing to appreciate it. Some of them, if anything, they just want to take and they want to take advantage and benefit and whatever. And I'm not rocking with that. I've been sitting here, contemplating what's next, never worrying about it because I know whose I am. I know who's in control of my life. So never worrying about what's next. But definitely, in my own mind and just reflecting, like I said, this is the pre-shadow phase of Mercury. We're in the winter solace, so it's about reflection as well, receptivity, all that. I like to think that I'm always receptive and I'm always introspective. So, but whatever, right? We're coming to the close of what humans, consider a year. And today is 2022, right? And we're literally at the end of 2022. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, I feel like I just want to continue moving forward. And that I'm only willing to continue moving forward with real love. Real love. And no, I'm not talking about just the diagonal, real love and all connections and all expressions of it. Like, deception is a deal breaker. It's a deal breaker, especially pathological, especially stubborn deception. You're just unrelenting, or like you're just unwilling to repair the damage you've created with a lie. You don't feel like the person is worth being told the truth. You don't feel like the person is worth the damage or the efforts to damage that person's reputation, their image, their life, their livelihood. You don't feel like that person is worth your accountability. Something that A lot of people have done with just their mouth alone. Destruction that they've caused with their mouth, with their hands. They don't feel like they can draw up enough strength and integrity and dignity to repair by the same manner, to repair what they've created destruction with their mouth and their hands. They don't feel like they can do that. Yet they still want this access to you. They still feel entitled to you. Willing to, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Now, people can believe what they want to believe, but this is my life. This is my life. These are my gifts given me by God. So all I can really do is, tell people, hey, pray about what you're saying and pray about who you're speaking on. Really pray about that. Because I take, reaping what you sow very serious. I really do. So I don't have intentions to just be out here intentionally sowing deception and lies because I don't want to reap that back. There's already people who do that anyway. Even when you are living your truth and living in truth and being honest with them, there's still people who will lie to you. Okay? So I don't have time. I can't risk sowing deception irresponsibly, knowing that at the end of the day, I'm going to have to reap back what I sow. I'm creating a harvest every day. You're creating your harvest. You're planting seeds. So people may say, oh, she's making this up. That's a lie. She sounds crazy. Oh, she's mentally ill. I don't give a damn what you say. Y'all know damn well. You sit here and you reflect back on anything that you've heard me spoken. I mean, look at everything that I've spoken. Look at how I live my life. I'm not out here wearing no makeup. I'm not out here wearing no fake hair. I'm not out here with no fake body parts. None of that. I am living my natural, authentic self. And I've experienced a lot of shit just to try to make me like just succumb to superficiality, succumb to living deceptively just to be happy or be happy with myself, be at peace or whatever. Feel secure, happy, be accepted by people that I love, whatever. And I just refuse. I'm not going to say that I never wavered, out of, just my compassion, my love, and just how deeply I care. And, of course, wanting a family, wanting friends, wanting, a stable foundation and stability. And, that's just human nature to desire those things. And especially like when you're of God, like this song, we're all a part of God's body, that type of energy, right? It's like, that's just human nature. And something I was thinking earlier was, it's really sad how, a lot of people, they do not have, and it's 222 right now. Yes, 222, 1222 on in 2022. So that's dope. To divine aligned, healthy, right? Regenerating, autonomy, and truly divinely loving, compassionate, considerate, honest, integrity based, grounded, stable, enduring, resilient connections, partnerships, love, family, friends, business, right? So mote it be, and so it is. Ashe 4444. But what I was gonna say is it's very, unfortunate how so many people are living their lifetime. Some never meet or rediscover their spirit parents, their spirit family. And some really lose themselves, lose their lives, lose their sanity, lose their focus and direction in trying to acquire and maintain and manage their flesh human connections and family and friends and shit like that, more so than spiritual, and sometimes never spiritual. And that's very unfortunate because now they're caught in these cycles of feeling like they have to overcompensate, or they have to figure out how to compensate for that through people, places, and things, opposed to your spiritual gifts, your soul, your spiritual family, the spirit realm, nature and all, right? Other dimensions of family that we also are connected to, like the animals, the plant kingdom, the tree kingdom, all these different things. And it's very unfortunate that, a lot of people, they leave this lifetime without tapping into that, you know? And so I guess it's not that surprising that, the life that I'm living and the path that I'm taking, it comes with a lot of difficulties, and challenges. I don't even want to call it difficulties. I don't even like saying that. That's not really my thing. Like when people say, "Oh, it's too hard, it's too difficult." You know, I'm not saying that those are not very true feelings to feel, but something that I usually say is it's not hard, it's challenging. Now, the level or the severity of those challenges will, it will differ and it varies. It will be less challenging, not challenging at all, or more challenging, or intensely challenging. It really depends, right, on the situation. But that school, right? Like when we think about universities, the fact that people call it universities, um, wow, there's a lot of wisdom in that. These things are very intentional. They're not just coincidental. Like, why is it called elementary school? Why is it called Head Start? Head Start, then elementary. What's elementary? Like elements, water, minerals, fire, air, earth, right? Head Start, your head, your crown, your third eye, and then elementary. Some people, you could say middle school or junior high, and then you have high school. High, why is it called high? HIGH, why is it called high? And then you have universities, right? Why is it called university? And we're in the universe. Why is the university seen as the one that's most difficult for people to get into? Or why is it such this big deal around it, a university, right? That's why I'll tell anybody, and this is coming from somebody who has a bachelor's degree, from a 4-year university, and I was there longer than 4 years. So I guess for me it was 5 years because I sat out a little while. Um, but anywho, 4-year university. And I would tell anybody, you don't have to go to any of these human schools in order to reach your master level of your soul, or this soul school, this soul's journey, the spirit school, right? And I wonder how many absences will people have, or If think about people who are expelled, people who drop out of spirit school, God school, people are concerned about impressing others with papers and documents and certifications and status, materials. People are so concerned with, impressing others or whatever, man, whatever image with that stuff. And they're not excited about impressing God. They're not excited about impressing God. They're not excited about impressing their spirit, they're impressing their spirit family, making their spirit family proud, their spirit parents, their legacy. They don't really think about these things at all, really. A lot of people. That's why something I say, my biggest goal in this lifetime is to become an ascended master in the spirit realm. That I allow my soul to express itself while I'm here on this earthly plane and create my legacy like in the most responsible manner possible, gathered all the lessons and all the teachings and the knowledge, education, and wisdom I've gained through soul school, spirit school, life, that I may be, a great teacher and guide to my children and, help them be that for their children. I be that for my children's children and so on and so forth. And we be that for one another and carry that on in our legacy, right? And I help them, just live as authentically as possible and create, like I said in the status today, create from, how did I say that? Kind of want to pull it up real quick. And it could be on my community board. Yeah, create from the purity of their hearts, the richness of their souls, and the freedom of their inner child. Creating from and out of love and wonder. Why? Because that's God's language. Why does it say that we are fearfully and wonderfully made? We are fearfully and wonderfully made. We are not supposed to be living in fear. God did not give you that spirit. If anything, he gave you a spirit that is feared. He gave you a spirit that to be feared by others, right? That is within you, right? Because that's our real family. And if we're man, I really can go like super deep with this, y'all. There's so much that people miss out, lose out on, forfeit, deny, avoid, reject, refuse, sabotage because of the lack thereof, the absence of whomever, humans, the betrayal of humans, whatever. And it's like, just not really tapping into or realizing, hey, I know what society says and I know how big of a deal humans make these things or make these people, you know, but they're not as big of a deal as your spirit family, your spirit mother and father in the spirit realms. Those who knew you before you entered your human mother's womb. It's really like that. It's that literal, and that's just very unfortunate. For example, we believe that prayers are real. We believe that the things that you say does impact your life. We believe in affirmations and all these things, but you have people who are in absolute denial about black magic and witchcraft, right? You have people who are in denial about, sorcery used demonically, magic used demonically or for evil purposes and evil intent. People are in just absolute denial about that. And then for the ones who address it, they want to accuse that person of being crazy, this, that, and the third. Well, Jesus, Yeshua, was performing alchemy. You cause a blind man to see. You cause a dead man to live, resurrect. Right? You banish a disease that's supposed to be uncurable from a man, from his body, and cause him to heal. This is magic. This is alchemy. People always talk about, oh, he died. He died for us. He died for our sins. Jesus died. His son, God's son was sacrificed for our sins. But people don't really go, that deep into why was he truly sacrificed? Why was he died? Like, why was he murdered by these people whom he helped? He helped these people him. Why did they hate him anyhow? Why? Why? And then you think about these people who are seers and oracles and very gifted people living out their gifts, right? And people don't realize they're those same people that persecuted, prosecuted, murdered, hung, lynched Yeshua, Jesus, however you want to call him. But another one of God's children, another one of God's children. So ultimately, your soul family, your spirit family. And they did the same thing to him. The same exact thing. Denied him, made it seem like he was crazy. He was some type of witch. He was a demonic sorcerer. He was this, he was that. But no, he was simply gifted. And he was simply acting out his spiritual gifts. That's what he was. He puts you in a state of wonder. He puts you in a state of wonder. Why? Because he was wonderfully, fearfully made. That's why he was feared. The Spirit of God, a reflection of God, made in the likeness of God. This is why he was feared. This is why he was wonderful. People wondered, how was he able to do these things? Why is he the way he is? How is he able to say, peace, be still, and there's peace to the storm? Why is he able to predict these things and then these things come to pass? Why? Think about all the people who was living out literally just how God made them, the being of the reflection and likeness of God. David, all these people that ISIS, so many people that we can mention, right? Whom we know of. And think about everything they went through as a result, all the witchcraft, the sorcery, the trickery, right? What's the guy, Nazareth? Was he from Nazareth, or I can't think of there was this guy who had like a lot of his power lied in his hair, right? Yeah, this stuff is real. Why is there so much hatred about people in their hair, especially like when they have locks, right? All this stuff is real, y'all. It's not just fairy tales. And you remember the woman who seduced him, the siren who seduced him, the succubus, incubus, was working with others, working with a group of others. They used her because she was a woman. She had things that a man wants, that a man desires. That's serves to be a man's weakness. And they used her to get to him and find out his power, where his power lies, so that they can overthrow him and defeat him. And then what did she do? She just kept harassing him and love bombing him, gaslighting him, all type of shit, narcissism. Yeah. Until he finally was just so overcome with stress and just the harassment that he told her where his secret lied. He told her that it was in his hair. He was never supposed to cut his hair. And what did she do? She told his secret and allowed these people to cut his hair, set him up so that he could be weakened. And this is a nobody above God. I don't care how much you love them, how much you like them, how much they pleasure you, please you. It doesn't matter. Why? Because ultimately, when you do that, that's what can lead to your downfall. Period. Now, it's not to say that you can't ever come out of that, because you can. But not everybody comes out of that. And then it depends, right? So I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to do that. And y'all can put me through, whatever, submit or put me back in captivity so that you can harvest off my energy, you can harvest off my wealth, my divine inheritance, my earthly inheritance, whatever the case may be. You can do whatever you choose, but no. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You're supposed to learn from your past, right? You're supposed to learn from your past. You don't just learn from your past, you learn from the people who are through God. You learn from their past as well. And you make wiser decisions moving forward. So no, I'm not going to do that. Why? So y'all can hang me, so y'all can persecute me, so y'all can do this, y'all can do that. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So you can poison me, whatever. So you can do whatever. No, no, I'm not. I'm not. I've already been poisoned. I've been poisoned. I've been poisoned a few times, actually. I've had car accident magic done to me. I've been raped. I've been molested. Almost killed. I've been almost trafficked, almost kidnapped. I've been beaten. I've been put in homeless situations, or I've been arrested unlawfully, or or held against my will. Like, I've been brutalized by police. Y'all, I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot. And so it's the reason why I'm the way that I am, and why I can no longer allow, I can't move. You have to learn from your past, man. You do. You do. So yeah. Even with the homeless situation, I've been made, or I've been, kind of put backed against the wall and had like all type of shit to induce homelessness in my life twice. I didn't expect it the first time, but I was prepared the first time. It's like I was, but I wasn't. But I was certainly determined, because I know that God was with me at all times. I know my spirit family will protect me, because they said they would. Period. I know the seeds that I sown will protect me. Period. But I'll tell you right now, I never thought that would happen to me twice. I never thought that would happen twice. People doing things to make you lose your job, to make you not receive work, to do things to your platform. Every effort that you try to make to, pull yourself back up, generate, wealth or income for yourself, and they're trying to create blockages and doing all type of stuff, man. All kind of just willing to do whatever, just so you will crawl back to them, submit to them, succumb to their authority, treat them like God. And I'm not doing that. So like I was going to say, even with the homeless stuff, when we hear about Jesus, we hear about Yeshua. There was a moment where, he just went out in the desert and stuff like that. And for sleep, like, he laid on a rock, like he slept outside and made a pillow out of a rock, of stone. So He was able to do that. He was able to do that. But I'm not able to survive temporarily, in whatever that is available to me. Like, for example, like for me, it was my car. It had to be my car because it wasn't safe for me to be at a shelter or anywhere else because I literally had people tracking me, you know, and trying to have me traffic it or kidnap, So it is what it is, you know. It is what it is. But I'm grateful nonetheless. There's something I wrote, and actually I'll read it to y'all. There's something I wrote. Because at the moment, I'm not in my vehicle now. Um, but I don't have any shame about that. And I know there's people they want you to feel shameful about that, but it's like if God tells me He loves me, He's proud of me, and this is what He told me to do, And at the end of the day, if He's, I don't care what you think. You get what I'm saying? Like, and that's really hard for people to believe or digest. And it's like, look, like I said earlier, I can understand it's difficult for you to digest when you don't have that closeness with your spiritual family. So I totally understand. But there's something I want to read to y'all that I wrote sometime last week or the week before that. And it's incomplete. I have a lot of things that I just write. I've been doing this since I was like 15 and possibly younger. To whom much is given, much is required. When you have a lot of God given gifts and abilities and wisdom and knowledge, you know, talents, you go through a lot of challenges. You go through a lot of warfare, all kind of stuff. I find it. Lord, where is it? Give me forever to find this right now. But I'm gonna find it and then maybe I'll close it out and then I found it. It says, when I consider the many children who are malnourished and go without food, and some both food and shelter, I look at the current phase of my journey and I am able to say that I am grateful. I know this is temporary, and as many of the misfortunate things I experienced that I did not desire much strength, much wisdom, deranged and cruel, hollow beings, an energy harvesting ring of sorts. And that's all. So I have to read it again because they messed up my connection. So premeditated, arranged, and intentional oppression and suffering designed to conjure lowly and negative feelings to serve as a positive for deranged and cruel hollow beings. An energy harvesting ring of sorts. And I'm going to read it again just in case because there was a reason when they literally deleted the whole first half of the video. Because if y'all recall on the reading, it was about at 3 minutes, and I was like, wow, it seemed like I was talking more than I actually was. That's because I was. There was a whole portion of the beginning of the video that was deleted. So when I consider the many children who are malnourished and go without food, and some both food and shelter, I look at the current phase of my journey and I am able to say that I'm grateful. I know this is temporary, and as many of the experienced many of the misfortunate things that I did not deserve. I gathered much strength, much wisdom, much courage, and and more confidence to overcome. Premeditated, arranged, and intentional oppression and suffering designed to conjure lowly and negative feelings to serve as a positive for deranged and cruel hollow beings. An energy harvesting ring of sorts. So yeah, this is getting pretty long, you guys. But yeah, that's just something I wanted to share. Not I did pull a couple of cards, but we don't really need cards. But everything definitely, of course, is going to clarify. But yeah, so this is the Authentic Empress, and maybe this message can serve as an inspiration to someone else. And I love you, those who are capable of feeling, receiving love. Those who are interested in the love. I love you, right? God loves you, but none of this matters if you don't love you. Until next time.